What's up, all you... No, I can't say that. That's against TOS. What's up, the gays? I'm Abigail Beck. Welcome back to the Rogue Room. How you doing, folks? I have a new desk, which is why the camera looks a little bit different. I have a new desk. Laurie, hello, how you doing? Welcome in. And welcome to the Rogue Room, Lee and Nicole. How's it going, folks? Welcome in. How's it hanging? How's it hanging? Do you like my leather jacket? I do. This is not quite right, though. This camera's not exactly... That's a little better. This spot over here, which was previously, like, kind of out of sight, out of mind. Now there's just this... There's just this space. There's my amp. You can see my amp and, like, my boots and my slippers. And it's... Maybe I need to adjust more, like... No, that's the wrong way. See, I could do that. But now I'm, like, slightly off-center. Not very poggers, if I'm honest with you. How yous going, folks? Yes, we're doing the rebel look tonight, because we are rebelling against society or something, I don't know. More Rogue Room. Oh, hang on, speaking of the Rogue Room, we need to have our lights on, that I forgot to do. Sorry. There you go. Have a portal gun. Enjoy. I look so pretty. Thank you kindly. I decided to go with the smoky eye and the red lip today. I think it's a look. I like it. I don't mind it. Don't you start. Microphone stand. Stop. I'm warning you. Okay? My show. I make the rules here. Anywho. Is the freaking music playing? It is, very, very faintly. I'm not talking about the cat, I'm talking about the microphone stand being a dickhead. Speaking of my inane ramblings, go follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. Anyway, folks, how you been? How has your weekend been? Sorry I missed out on Friday's stream, I forget why I skipped it. But we're trying to get back into the consistent streaming schedule of 5 days a week. Fingers crossed. Okay? Because your girl likes doing this as a regular daily thing. Except for weekends. I like to have my weekends. What happened on Friday? We were going to do my uni essay together. Which I did submit. I ended up doing it. I'm not expecting good marks, though. I forget why I cancelled on Friday. I fucking don't know, dude. But I've been hating... It was a thing. It was a whole thing. The Lady Blackstone. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Love the leather jacket, folks. I know you love it. I love it. Although the heater's on, so it's starting to get a bit hot now. I might have to take it off. But anyway. You're not gay. Seriously, so many creepy gay and bi men that don't respect the word no hit on you. It's oh, God. Men. How, I feel such shame that I used to identify as one of those. You know. Mix Mac, welcome to the Rogue Room. How you doing? I did say, well, I am an Aussie, yes. Actually, that's not listed today in my... Let's get rid of AMA, because I don't want people asking me anything. Let's put the Australian tag back on. That's what's missing. So recently, we'll just start off with a little announcement, because this is kind of semi-relevant to tonight's topic. We are going to discuss gender presentation, performance, all those kinds of things. We're going to go into a little bit of detail about those. I'm going to put my headphones in because I want to hear the music myself. Twitch added, and I want to know what you folks think of this. They added he, him, she, her, and they, them pronoun tags. Now, I personally don't like the fact that they've just made those tags instead of adding a section for it somewhere on Twitch. Like, if you folks are paying attention to the pronouns extension, if you don't have it on Chrome or Firefox, you can get an extension for your chat that shows people's pronouns next to their names. A bunch of people use it. It's pretty popular. I feel like adding pronouns as a tag doesn't really accomplish exactly what people want it to. Obviously, it's a start, but a lot of people have been asking for like a pronouns section on Twitch, which is a bit different. Like a little part of the profile where like you could just put it in your about section, honestly. But I don't think having the pronoun tags adds much compared to the other compared to, like, say, there is a woman tag, there is a man tag, there's non-binary tags, there's masculine, feminine, there's obviously transgender. Like, there's agender tags. They've already got a bunch of those kind of identity tags now, and then adding in the pronoun tags doesn't seem like it gets the point of displaying your pronouns on your profile. Especially, I mean, it's not a bad idea necessarily. However, what they've done with it, the way they've implemented it, is that's just yet another spot in the already very limited tag space that a lot of people are going to use the pronoun tags, most certainly. But that's an already very bloated spot to put it. You know, we've got 5 tags that we can choose for ourselves. I've gone educational, LGBTQIA+, transgender, autism, and Australian. And that's my 5 taken up. I don't have time to put she, her in there. Because, quite frankly, like, we have discussed the concept of identity is content, right? Which is why I've got Australian, transgender, autism. Those are parts of my identity that people can relate to. And as important as pronouns are, in the grand scheme of things, I can't really see, and like some people do discuss pronouns, I guess, but I can't see having your pronoun set as a tag is necessarily going to be a form of content dissemination, if that makes sense. I don't know. I need to get rid of this. I'm too hot now. I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Can you do much with that? I feel like the other tags can definitely be used as a form of content, but pronouns not necessarily. Again, like, hold on a minute. My stuff is not working. I'm trying to put the jacket over the back of the chair, so you got that visual. You got that, you know, got that cool vibe of me hanging out. Here's my leather jacket in the backdrop. In the background. Happy National Bathtub Day. I'd like a nice bathtub. I was at someone's house recently. I went to take a piss on their toilet, as you do. And they've got this really nice, broad, deep, very geometric bathtub. And mine's a piece of fucking garbage by comparison. I'm pissed off. How dare they have a better bathtub than I do? Well, see, the thing is, like, you might think Australian is unnecessary, but people, I mean, and the thing is, there might be folks using the he, him, she, her, they, them tags to find people based on their pronouns, I suppose. Stardust Angel, welcome to the program. How you doing? However, I think it's more likely that Aussies might be seeking out other Aussies. Austrians might be seeking out other Austrians. Chinese streamers might be seeking other Chinese streamers, etc., etc., etc. Like, you know, you've got that sort of... There's not exactly... I don't know. Is there a community around pronouns necessarily? Again, I'm not disparaging the idea of them. Right? I do like the idea of pronouns being on display somewhere on the profile. And I think Instagram recently just added a pronoun section. Or at least they said they did. People were saying, oh, they added a pronoun section to Instagram, and I've looked and I haven't found the fucking thing. If I go to edit profile... Oh, yeah, there it is. Neato. Add 4 pronouns. She... Cool. That's neat. Oh, dude. That's cute. Cool. There we go. Sick. Doesn't make a difference. But it's kind of like... I don't think pronouns belong in tags. You love my lipstick, but you use nothing, so I'm not going to acknowledge that. How dare you. No, thank you kindly. Add they, them on your streams and still get set. Oh, God. Do you have the pronouns extension for Chrome or Firefox? Only partially here. You have some IRL stuff you need to take care of. Sounds good, Fester. Make sure you are taking care of that IRL stuff. There you go, Reaper. Sort of. I'm trying to figure it out. Anyways. That's just my thoughts on that. I think it's still neat that they did add it, but it definitely feels like the rest of the identity tags that they added were a lot more... properly implemented, but then adding the pronoun tags kind of misses the point of people wanting a pronoun section in their bio. You know, again, unless Twitch, and I think if Twitch decides to open up the tags menu so that you can fit more tags in there, like say 5, it's 5 right now. People have been asking for something like 8, which is what I think peer-to-peer.live allows you to have 8 tags on your profile. But anyway, Yes, you can link the screenshot. I did say yes. And on the subject of cute games. Yeah, a pronoun section on bios like Instagram, exactly. It wouldn't be hard to implement. Well, at least you would think so. But Twitch is notorious for not implementing really seemingly easy features. On the subject of cute things, though, tonight, a little bit later on, we're not going to be doing this right now, but because I want to get into my gender discussion. But here's a game that I got a free key for. Look at me. I'm an influencer, so I get free keys. Let's pause this for a second. I just want to show you this trailer of this game, this video's game here, that I got a key for. It's called Beasts of Maravilla Island.
Dearest Marina, do not mourn me when I am gone.
I haven't actually watched this with audio.
I have lived a life in service of the beautiful creatures of this earth. A life
Riding on the wind, welcome to the road.
I hope I passed on to you.
So I got a key for this in my email, and I had a look at it, and I'm like, this looks really cute. Let's give it a crack. So a little bit later on, we'll give this a go.
And every day, it is losing itself.
It's got a bit of a...
magic wanes, and soon, all of this will disappear. Yet nobody can act.
Not a big fan of the voice.
How can we say what we do not know?
I will say there are certain... Oh, yeah, it's sort of got a bit of a Pokemon Snap vibe to it. You go around, you're taking photos of all these creatures, from what I've been able to glean. There is such a thing as, like, too much voiceover in a trailer. Who watched the original trailer for Horizon Forbidden West? Did anyone watch that? Like, you know, Horizon Zero Dawn, so the sequel. They released, like, a 3-minute trailer for Horizon Forbidden West, and regrettably, Aloy was talking over it for a significant portion, and it was kind of like a, it was kind of like a monologue that seemed like it was building to a great epic, you know, peak moment, and then she'd keep talking, and she'd keep going, like, she'd just, you would think, you know, okay, you've said enough, we get it, oh, okay, you're still going. Oh, okay, so there's that great, you know, finishing line of the... No, you're still talking. Please stop talking. Just let the gameplay speak for itself. For goodness sake, stop going on. That's kind of the problem I've gotten, just a dumb trailer criticism. It tends to happen a lot.
So, I leave you my camera and my journal. Photograph Maravilla's majesty and bring back something beautiful to share with the world.
Kind of looks very similar to that game about the cat cafe. Anyway, we're gonna give that a crack. It looks nice. It looks very quaint. Anyway. Oops. So what's this one? You sent me a thing for Surviving Mars. Ah, free copy when you subscribe to the Humble Bundle newsletter. Nah, can't be bothered. Feels like Breath of the Wild art style. It definitely has that kind of feel to it, doesn't it? Is directed this really beautiful looking noir horror adventure game made in RPG Maker. Where is it? Here we go. There we are. So that's the screenshot, is it, Echo? It does kind of, that game does kind of look a little bit like Wind Waker as well, yeah. It's the lighting. It's the way the lighting is hitting everything that gives it that kind of cel-shaded vibe. Look at the embarrassing Bill Maher hot take on Israel and the cringe of his audience clapping like seals when Bill claims you can't learn history from Instagram. No, I did not, but that sounds exactly like something Bill Maher would do. It's entirely within his wheelhouse, honestly. We might give that kind of stuff a look tomorrow, because I want to focus on gender stuff tonight. Okay, this coffee when it gets cold is not... Oh, okay then. We'll put that over there. Anyway. Yeah, I'll take a look tomorrow with that one, I think. We'll do some, like, heavy political stuff tomorrow. I had an idea I wanted to run past you folks. Because I hate TERFs. You know I hate TERFs. Everybody should hate TERFs. Let's just get some, How about we do this? Let's get some I hate TERFs in chat, first of all. Because I posted a video a little while back about, what's her name? What is her name? The stupid lady that J.K. Rowling shared her story. Maya Forstater. Remember the lady that got what's her name? What happened? She lost her. She didn't lose her job. Okay, so the company she was working for, the think tank she was working for, Maya Forstater, she didn't get her contract renewed with the company that she was working with after she expressed some gender-critical views on the internet or whatever it is, or whatever. And J.K. Rowling, if we're going to use the comparison to her atrocious writing, the Voldemort of the transes, decided to share her story, and thus Maya Forstad has now got a massive following online among the gender-critical community. Recently, there was some bullshit about a lawsuit or whatever it was, or an appeal or something, so she can... effectively, her case was that she wanted to legally be able to abuse trans people, or rather, specifically, the court was arguing, or she was arguing, that she should be allowed to have her gender-critical, biologically imperialist viewpoints, essentially. You know, the idea that a woman is determined by her reproductive organs and her chromosomes and her gametes and all that stupid bullshit, rather than, you know, allowing trans women to be women, sort of thing. And the court, I guess, has recently found that she is allowed to hold those viewpoints, but the ruling also says she can't use those viewpoints to abuse co-workers and things of that nature, which is obvious, duh. But because she technically won the appeal, a bunch of TERFs have then flooded the comments of my recent-ish, like a couple of weeks back video on Maya, and it's just been dislike bombed, flooded with comments. I've just been hiding them from my channel, honestly. Every time a new gender critical comments on the video, I've just been hiding the comments. I'm just like, no, scream into the void. I'm sick. I'm done responding to you idiots, because they refuse to acknowledge the distinction between sex and gender is the problem. They refuse to acknowledge that sex and gender are separate concepts. So let's get this out of the way right now so the TERFs can have something else to scream at. Just nearly knocked my drink bottle over. Hello, Strawberry. Welcome to the Rogue Room. I hope you're doing well. I am doing good. My day has been quite nice, if exhausting. Anyway, so let's get the basic thing out of the way, right? Sex, in a biological sense, not in a bedroom sense, is effectively just a series of biological markers that say you are this or that. And in a broad sense, you know, we can say that a dog with a penis is male, a dog with a vagina is female, right? The problem arises when, you know, people seem to have this... I don't know if this is the right term. I don't know if I made this up or if I read this somewhere. But like I said before, biologically imperialist, or just effectively just... Maybe that's not the right word for it. Maybe imperialist is not the right word for it. Biological essentialism? Maybe that's it. Effectively, there are people who learned that baseline level of sex, right? Of, you know, male, female, males have these sex organs and gametes and chromosomes, and, was it males? Females have these ones, whatever it is. Female dogs are such bitches, I know. And the unfortunate situation is that because gender is so socially tied to those things, you know, when we're born, the doctor observes you've got this genitalia or you've got that genitalia, and we could get into the intersex thing in a minute, but generally speaking, on a broad social level, you've got the boys being assigned based on their genitals and the girls being assigned based on theirs. And a lot of people carry that through to adulthood, and most people will just stick with that. They'll just continue to identify with that. And because you know, a boy is determined by being male and a girl is determined by being female, you've thus got this situation of a group of people who are so... what's the phrase I'm looking for here? They're just so entrenched in that idea that it's completely unchanging and unshifting, and it's impossible for those ideas to move beyond what we're essentially taught from childhood. When we are born, we are sort of given this idea that, well, not when we're born. Like, babies don't have any concept of gender. Let's get that out of the way right now. Like, babies don't know what gender is. But yeah, when we're born, we're given that social role that sort of informs the way we're going to act when we grow up. There's still a lot of people out there, and there are quite a few people out there who are trying to raise their kids in a gender non-conforming way. Let toys be toys is a cool little... it's a Twitter account, at least. I don't know if there's like an actual organization there or something. But there is a group who are like, let toys be toys and not gender them. Let girls play with trucks, let boys play with dolls, kind of thing. Help me, Senpai. Welcome to the program. How you doing? And unfortunately, what this means is, yeah, like we said before, I think, unfortunately, all babies and animals are atheists. True, technically. True, correct. Because, yeah, from the outset, we're kind of taught, like in, what's that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Where the kid goes, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina, and the audience erupts in raucous laughter. It's fucking hilarious because the little 6-year-old said vagina. Kindergarten cop, that's the one. Rocks are atheists. I look fabulous. Thank you, man. Because people get... This is the problem, right? This is the problem. When we're young, we're taught that it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. We're taught that 1 + 1 = 2. We're taught that the sky is blue, the grass is green, dogs chase cats, whatever. Which they don't always. I've met quite a few cat and dog pairings that are very loving and caring towards one another, or the cat chases the dog. Not really the point. We're taught a bunch of things when we're children that we're just expected to take that information in and never change our mind on it. And far too many people never do change their mind on it. That's the conservative understanding of gender, kindergarten. Pretty much, yes. Dabby, welcome to the program. How you doing? That is quite literally the conservative understanding of gender. And the reason for that is there were societies that had concepts of gender that existed beyond what we now understand as the gender binary. And we will get into, like, say, the fact that gender is not binary, it is bimodal in the same way that sex is, right? Hello, Darby. I hope you're doing well. So how do you change gender? Well, the simple answer is gender is not fixed. Gender is not... Because we are assigned a gender role at childhood, generally speaking. In Western society, probably in other societies as well. I haven't lived in every society. I can't tell you everything about what they do in wherever. I can tell you about what they do in Australia, though. And what they do in Australia is... Congratulations, it's a boy. Congratulations, it's a girl. Some people do gender reveal parties and set half of California on fire. You can change your gender because your gender is not your sex. Gender is your identity. Gender is the performative nature of how you live, effectively. And there are a lot of people out there, and I dare say there's probably more people out there who are simply not aware of the fact that transgender is a thing, or maybe are not too understanding of the concept. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But there are a lot of people who are raised on the idea that, again, your sex is your gender, and they are two distinct concepts, right? It's just that our society has been conditioned in such a way that we expect if a person is born with this, they are this. Penis, boy, vagina, girl, right? And the idea of anyone falling outside of that very strict narrative that we've been taught is the okay way to be. Like, what's the way I'm trying to say this? We've been taught that, 1, 2, and there's nothing outside of those. And if you try to change it, you're some kind of a freak or something. There's a lot of people who have that particular viewpoint on it. What is it? What am I missing here? Hang on a second. So it's effectively a change in the way you express yourself. Yeah. Now, we could... The thing is, like, broadly speaking, in terms of genitalia, yeah, like a trans woman generally has male genitalia, generally has, other male organs and things of that nature. Presentation, but also internal identity. So, like, not just how, I'm presenting right now, I'm wearing a grey dress, I'm wearing lipstick and heavy eyeshadow and all this kind of stuff. I'm doing gender right now. I have long hair. That's very feminine, I don't have nail polish on. But, let me think. I've just sort of started rambling based off what I know, and I haven't, structured this in any way, so sorry. But to summarize that first bit, we're given a gender, we're given a role. We are taught that we are to live by a certain set of values, a certain set of behaviors, a certain set of attitudes, and things of that nature from the moment we're born. And no matter how much you try to diverge from it as a kid, or like no matter how much your parents might try to diverge from it. Again, I don't care if my son plays with dolls and wears dresses and all of that. There are some people who are really open about that kind of like freedom of expression with their children, and that's fine, that's good. But from the moment we're born, we're placed into a box that we didn't get to choose. Like someone mentioned before, babies are atheist, for example. And it is through social conditioning that people become Christian, or people become Hindu, or people become Muslim, right? Or whatever. So in a way, gender is largely the same kind of concept. We're placed into a box from the moment we're born, and we never get the chance, well, broadly speaking, you know, for me personally, obviously, I got the chance to break that box open and start exploring gender a little bit more deeply. But a lot of people get stuck in their gender identity because the world continues to reinforce it through the way that we live. And we've discussed toxic masculinity recently, and we had that whole discussion around toxic masculinity isn't that masculinity is toxic, it's the society expects this of masculine people, expects this of men and boys, and if they don't fit into those gendered roles, then it leads to some extreme internal struggle, which can manifest in toxic behaviors, right? And that's kind of the same thing. When you're put into a certain box and you don't get the chance to explore outside of that box, it leads to toxic behaviors. And for me personally, that's definitely what happened before I transitioned. I was, quite frankly, very much a victim of the toxic masculinity that perpetuates our society. And I started, you know, behaving in uncouth ways, and I was definitely not a very good person. And it took me breaking down those gender roles and starting to realize, hey, maybe this isn't for me. And, you know, once I started to really reflect on who I'd been all these years and all the things that I'd kept repressed, that I started to become more comfortable with myself. By the way, P-Game, is that how you pronounce that? Johto, Ban and King of Horror, both of you, welcome to the Rogue Room. I hope you're having a good one. That was you in high school? Yeah, I was definitely... I never got the chance to explore much in high school, because I dropped out pretty early. And thus, as honestly... It's kind of amusing. When I was a teenager, I had this moment of I would say gender dysphoria when I was around 15, which was shortly after I dropped out of school. You know what the circumstances were then? I was at home by myself while my mother was going off to work and my sister was going off to school all the time. So I was having this intense period of just like I'm spending most of my day in the house by myself, minding my own business, digging inside my own head. Do you know when I came out? Australia was in lockdown during the pandemic. So I was, you know, spending so much time locked up in the house, never going out, and I had all this time to self-reflect. You know, all of a sudden, I can't go out and socialize. I can't go and be distracted, and I can't go and... I don't have, like, a job to do or whatever else it is. I'm completely alone, except for that voice in the back of my head that I locked away, like, 15, 16 years ago, you know? So that's what happened to me, and that's what apparently happened to a bunch of other people during the pandemic. During lockdown, it seems like there's been a lot of eggs that cracked, so to speak. I'm a pandemic trans. Thanks, COVID. Daughter's just started her trans journey. She's 9 and couldn't be more proud of her. Oh, that's great, Banner. Oh my goodness. Give her my absolute best. Didn't really get a chance to explore much until you were 26. Though you did do shit like grow your hair out, use your love of metal as an excuse to do so. Fair. When you were 26, you got space to yourself with your thoughts. 26 being your lockdown. There you go. So yeah, I think having that time to explore and unpack feelings that I'd held for a long time, because amid everything, you know, the reason I'd never really explored it was because I never spent time alone. Well, I had, but there was always something to do, you know? I've been a streamer for about 3 years now. And yeah, I've technically been trans less than a year. Although you could argue I've been trans the whole time. I just was, you know, I've always been hiding it, I guess. I always knew it was there. COVID trans. It would be nice to transition, but the paperwork's... Okay, interesting. No, I didn't go to a finishing school. I went to TAFE, which is like a community college kind of deal here in Australia. And I basically completed my school certificate, and then I went to uni and completed my higher school certificate. So I have gotten, like, a full high school education, so to speak. By the way, Zucchini Cup and Sunball Tea, welcome to the Rogue Room. I hope you're both doing well. Kind of settled on Envy before lockdown. The lockdown has let you present more feminine, and that's been really great. So now you're going to the doctor at the end of the month to look at options. That's good. I like to hear that. Cracked around 11, but didn't have a name for what trans was. Didn't come out till you were 21. Didn't transition to... Oh, whoops. There's ad break. Oh, whatever. We're not going to do it. With this content, people are going to look up to you. I hope so, honestly. I want to be one of those people that people can come to and ask me questions about this stuff, and I can give them answers. You know, that's what I'd like to be. I'd like to be that person that can answer those kinds of questions. I'm good at speaking. Thank you kindly. But yeah, like I had the same kind of thing, Punky Gal, where I was like, when I looked it up, what happened when I was 15 is I had these thoughts in my head. I was having dreams of, like, waking up and I'm a girl and going upstairs to have breakfast in the kitchen, and my mum's saying, "Oh, look, there's my favorite little girl," ignoring the fact that my sister exists. Fuck off. I'm the favorite. You know, everyone referring to me and knowing me as a chick, right? I had these thoughts, like intrusive thoughts in my head constantly, and dreams and all this, and it just felt so nice. And then you'd wake up and I'm just like, oh, gross, I'm in my boy body again. But I never deeply explored it. And when I was around that mid-teens age, I looked up how to go from boy to girl or something like that. How do I go from boy to girl? And I sort of like started to do a bit of research on it and realized, I think I originally scared myself away from it. Because I looked it up and they were just like, oh, you need to present as female for this many years, and then you need to get on hormones, and then you need to have surgeries, and then you need to be on medication for the rest of your life. And I'm like, I was terrified. I couldn't swallow a pill back then. Like, I legitimately couldn't swallow tablets. Nowadays, I take 4 a day. And the whole idea absolutely terrified me. So I just pushed it away and then started doing the man thing as best I could. Started trying to be the man of the house as best I could. Not realizing it was completely not for me. And I think there's a lot of people who have that same kind of unfortunate sensation of, well, yeah, being in the wrong body. That feeling of being in the wrong body. And that's not the best way to phrase it, honestly, because I like what Steph Sonyati said in one of her videos. She goes, this is my girl body, right? It's not that you're in the wrong body. It's like, this is my girl body. And I think having that acceptance that certain things are just not going to be able to physically change, really, without excessive investment, and there are certain things that are just not feasible. Like, there are definitely some trans women out there who would want to have a baby, and though there is research being done in like womb transplants and things like that, it's nowhere near being on the table for most trans women in a broad sense, right? When you're 18, you got a little fucked up on substances that we can't legally take in Australia, and you saw yourself as a girl in the mirror. It was like, yeah, an experience. But you never felt comfy in your own body, frequently thought about being a girl, resented your body. Yeah, I can understand those feelings. HRT helped you learn to take tabs? Well, that's good. Turn it into I'm just bi, which turns out I was trans and gay, not all bi. Recently realized I don't want my tits all the time, so believe you're either demigirl, gender fluid, or agender. Not sure, though. So explain demigirl to me, because I'm not 100%, what was it? You know, which one's demigirl? A womb transplant, yeah, it honestly is pretty much some Star Trek shit. It's some far off utopian society level shit. Probably like there is research being done into. Oh, by the way, you silly Saf, welcome to the Rogue Room. I didn't say that. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Did Blair White write the article I read? Which article? I'm not talking about an article. The person I was thinking about before that I mentioned. Who did I mention? Hello, Jay. How you doing? Like gender fluid, but just feeling feminine and non-binary. Oh, okay, that's understandable. Happy with lesbian aunt energy, no need for kids of your own. Understandable. Take the pressure off yourself, because, you know, with other people's kids, you can mind them for a bit and just hang out and have the fun times with them, and then give them back. There you go. There's your kids again. This one shit itself. You go be the parent. I'll be the auntie or uncle or whatever. One man said you have to take pills. Oh, no. This was back when I was, like, I'm older than Blair White, I think. So this was back when I was, like, 15. But no, it was It was specifically medical texts that I was reading. I was looking up research on how to transition legally back then, which I think I knew the term transition in terms of, like, because I was not unfamiliar with the idea of a trans person, but the context back then was like, I think I had an auntie or something, or like a distant relative that was like a cousin or sister of like an uncle or something like that, like a distant sort of relative, but someone I had seen a few times here and there at various family gatherings. And the particular way they referred to them back then was, used to be a man is now a woman. They didn't have like a real word for it. They didn't say stuff like, my family wouldn't say stuff like, oh, they're a transsexual or whatever it was. You know, they didn't have that kind of word for it. This was, back in like 2003, 2004-ish. Which, I mean, being trans is not a new concept. But the language, the terminology shifts and changes, definitely. It seems like something she say. It does. She strikes me as trans-medicalist. But anyway, broadly speaking, we've gotten way off track, but I guess this is kind of good at the same time. So that was kind of my experience with it, is, I had the early egg cracking when I was young. I researched it a bit, decided it was too scary of an idea, and thought to myself, I'll probably be seen as a freak by society. I'll probably be seen as an outcast. Nobody will treat me respectfully. I'll never be able to find my place in the world. Blah 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 blah. Which I deal with that shit anyway. I'm autistic, so. Nowadays, though, I just stomach it because I'm a badass bitch. Seems like something she'd say. Well, yeah. Literally said, you hate that you're not part of the girls group at your summer job, only to pass off as I'm bi, so you were cracked yet not consciously cracked. Yeah. Mostly strikes me as a grifter. I think she definitely seems like a grifter. Radio Reaper. Judging by the way she talked about minorities, you thought she was 80. Yeah, I have my thoughts about Blair White. I think, she's definitely a kind of a grifty person. You've been here for a minute. How are you, Unicorn? I'm your hero. Thank you. Money to be made in being the political rights token minority. There definitely is. Oh, Unicorn Glitter Kitty. There you go. But yeah, there's certainly, and it's the same thing with Caitlyn Jenner at the moment. Like, we know she is genuinely conservative, but, I think, whether your politics align, I think to be someone like Blair White, I think she definitely believes everything she says, but there's definitely a heavy dose of self-loathing there, in my personal opinion, with Blair White. From what I've seen of her, the way she talks about other trans people, the way that she sort of presents her viewpoints, strikes me as someone who is okay with being trans, but hates the fact that she is, for a number of reasons, and hates other people being trans, and hates that other people don't fit her view of what trans is. I think her, Jade Sorcery, welcome to the program. I think her particular, she's definitely trans-med, as far as I've been able to tell. She's trans-medicalist, so you only count as a real trans if you are passing, and if you've had the surgery, and if you're on HRT, and all of this. Basically unreasonable expectations for a vast majority of trans people. There are those who can't get on HRT, there are those who cannot afford surgery, there are those who are not going to pass. That's the reality of the scenario. And that really speaks to how we, honestly, the centering of trans women in the trans discussion speaks to the misogynistic viewpoint of transmedicalism. Quite honestly, I've seen, where was I going to go with this? Like, there was somewhere I was going to go with that particular point. But yeah, I think the transmedical angle, it comes across very misogynist. And a lot of those, a lot of transphobic attitudes generally do lean misogynist. Because, again, like I said, trans women are centered in the trans discussion. And then you've got, true scum, what does true scum mean again? Let me define it. Wikipedia just goes transmedicalism. Is broadly defined as the belief that being transgender is contingent upon experiencing gender dysphoria or undergoing medical treatment in transitioning. So that's the broad sense there, is like transmedicalists believe that individuals who identify as transgender but do not experience gender dysphoria or have no desire to undergo a medical transition through methods such as sex reassignment surgery or hormone replacement therapy are not genuinely transgender. And if you look back at when, what's her name, Blair White was talking about GameStop trans, what's her name? I forgot what her name is. She was using a lot of those sort of, the language she was using was saying like, this is not very womanly. Oh, you're going to go into a GameStop and say, it's ma'am, and then threaten violence out in the parking lot. No woman's going to do that. But I've met some women who genuinely would, cis women, who will genuinely fucking go ya bruh. They will take you to the car park and they'll beat the shit out of you. Is the thing. I've met cis women who are like that, is the problem. Like the moment you start defining the moment you start defining, okay, this is what a woman does, and if you're a trans woman and you're not behaving like this, you're also sort of denying that there are cis women that have sort of perhaps typically masculine attitudes or things of that nature who are still cis-identifying women, you know. Green, yes indeed, Italia. And hello, Praetorians, how you doing? I disagree. I think Blair White is just a trans Uncle Tom for money. She'll go make a video talking about how she's reached all these revelations, and the next day she'll go straight back to being just as bad. She wants to be thought of as one of the good ones because that's where the money is. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're completely right there. And that's generally the situation with a lot of grifters, I think. You know, there's a lot of money in pandering to the right in terms of content creation. You know, she's clearly milking it because she knows she can get cash out of doing this kind of gig. So why stop now? Not to sidebar, but Utan had its first ever Pride drag walk on Sunday outside of the Catholic Cathedral in the town hall and police department and courts, etc. And hundreds of queers showed up. Fuck yes, it sounds awesome. You're alright? I'm alright too. I'm doing good. Recently saw some comments by a TERF saying that metal is a masculine thing. I think I saw that. I can't remember the specifics, but I think I saw that. You met cis women who are like that. Walk in just to be called out like that. Listen, we stan tough cis women, alright? We stan like Ellen Ripley types. Is that a good example? Hang on. Is it Ellen Ripley who I'm thinking of? I think so, yeah, from Alien. Badass women. We like badass women who are down to throw hands. Didn't I just say that I think she believes what I think I might have misinterpreted, or I might have stopped myself before I finished my sentence. I think she believes what she says to a point, but it comes from a place of self-loathing. Like, I think she's certainly got certain viewpoints that she might exaggerate for the sake of content. And I think there are other viewpoints where it's more of like, say, for example, I could definitely make content that would pander to the right wing because I kind of know how they think in a way just by observing them, you know? And I think in a broad sense, I could put out that kind of content just based on the idea of like, I know that right-wingers generally don't like trans people, so I can make content that's like Blair White's that's just shitting on other trans people and saying, oh, well, I'm one of the good transes. You know. So I think it's in that sense of maybe she exaggerates some viewpoints she genuinely holds. She is genuinely a Republican voter. And I think there is some other stuff where she's serious about it. Literally at the gym now, getting swole to give powerful hugs. Oh, yes. That's why we go to the gym. What is that? I think I've like wiped some... It's either sweat or I've wiped moisture off my drink bottle onto my armpit. Something to be said for Jenna's substance abuse though. Substance abuse. Anyways. We're sort of like rambling and ranting a bit. But yeah, like that's the thing that I've noticed. Generally speaking with Blair White. And other... gender criticals have been having a time lately because of course they have. That's almost where I feel like, cause I'm pretty sure Blair White put out a video saying she read J.K. Rowling's new book at an unreasonable pace. Like the book had just released and it's a fucking Goliath novel, 900 something pages of Joanne just spitting on the page. and I think Blair White was claiming she'd read it in the span of 2 days or something. And she made the video for the sake of defending J.K. Rowling, because this comes back to what we were saying a minute ago. I definitely think what Blair White does is she knows making a video defending J.K. Rowling is gonna piss off a significant portion of the people who know she exists. So as a result, she'll make that video because inevitably people are gonna watch it, they're gonna have to watch the ads on her channel, yada yada yada. You get the idea, right? So that's what she does. She makes content that she knows is gonna piss off the lefties. She's gonna piss off the libs. Gonna own the libs, get the triggered libs. Yeah. So that, I think she does that, and then there's other content she does where she takes herself more seriously, which expresses her more specifically political viewpoints, I suppose, or her more transmedicalist viewpoints. I think you get the gist. She certainly knows how to play the game of YouTube in a broad sense. Also kept switching between saying she had an ebook or a physical book. Yeah, like if Blair White says she's read a book, don't believe her at the end of the day. Anyways, neither here nor there. So we sort of rambled a bit there. We just sort of went off track, and whatever, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't really make any difference. But one of the things, like, as someone who has studied some sociology, honestly, because broadly speaking, you know, if we talk about the distinction between sex and gender, we've already determined that biological sex is not gender. It's just that the two are interlinked by nature of you get assigned a gender at birth based on sex organs, right? And it's largely considered, I think, that gender studies is a branch of social science or sociology in a sense. And there are a lot of people out there who look at social sciences and sociology and things of that nature, which is literally just the study of people. It's the study of the way people behave, the way people's attitudes shift and change. Like, it's as much a science as biology itself is, right? It's just the problem is when people are making observations in any kind of scientific context, whether that's observations of what a cell is doing or observations of what people are doing, you know, macro, micro kind of stuff. Bring Batarm. Welcome to the Rogan. How you doing? There are a lot of people who, for reasons unbeknownst to me, I guess the argument being made, I've seen a lot of people who will, there's a lot of people who will dismiss sociology, and thus any branch of sociology or any branch of social sciences, as being biased and not a real science and all those kinds of things, despite the fact that they do definitely use scientific methods, both qualitative and quantitative research, right? So if we do, let's just say, for example, I go out and I do a survey and I say, do you believe sex and gender are the same thing? And the answers are like yes or no or unsure. And I get 7,000 results back, and 60% of them say yes and 40% of them say no or whatever. That's a qualitative study. And a quantitative study would be... No, hang on, that's a quantitative study. Qualitative study would be asking people their specific interpretation of the distinction between sex and gender, and getting people's actual words and opinions and thoughts on things. And those are two factors that play into sociology, play into social sciences. And as a result, there are so many, give me a second here. There are so many folks out there who hold those gender critical viewpoints, or who just genuinely believe sex and gender are the same thing. Gender is not genitalia, folks. Sorry to break it to you. And they refuse to change. Like we talked before, they've got like a kindergarten understanding, you know, of what gender is. Isn't the absolute truth, but it's such a big truth that it matters much, much more when weighing this all out. Now newbies are born and aren't necessarily assigned gender by their more liberal parents. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people who have gone the route of not gendering their child and letting them determine their own gender role in society, which is, you know, a good way to do things. I used to be skeptical of that very thing. Medical institutions that are worth their weight do know to differentiate, exactly. So the reason that we even have a field of study devoted to gender because gender studies is a thing, and people will go, oh, well, gender studies isn't going to get you a real job. Which, you know, that's a pretty common viewpoint. Laurie, welcome to the Rogue Room. Because, you know, we know gender studies, we know gender... What are they called? Gender researchers, I suppose, do exist, and they do analyze and discuss with people what their own gender experiences are. Almost everyone has an agenda, or has a gender. They don't ask you, are you a man or woman, if they're worth their weight in fuck all. Gender studies. Gender scientists. Where was I going with this? I've gotten off track now. You know what? You can get timed out because you're a fucking wanker. Because no one's paying attention. I'm trying to avoid this fucking idiot. Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up, cunt. No one cares. God damn it. You fucking idiot. Anyway, gardening isn't going to get you a real job either. Yeah, like, that's the thing, right? Is gender is clearly important enough in society that it is worth having its own field of study to be able to broadly understand and break down how gender works for different people. You know? Otherwise, like, and this is why people dismiss it, because their concept of gender from the baseline, again, I was trying to say this before, comes back to that kindergarten understanding. They think it's just boys, girls, men, women, right? There's no new genders. You can't change your genders. You can't do this. It's your genitalia. And thus, if social science and if gender studies were not real things, if they were, you know, biased and useless and whatever, then, like, if none of these different gender ideas and different gender identities and understandings of the way these roles worked in society simply, what's the way I want to phrase this? Like, if they didn't exist, let's just say if these ideas didn't exist, then there'd be no need for gender studies. There'd be no need for people to actually write this stuff down. There'd be no need for people to actually track what's going on and try to form essays and understandings of the broader concepts around it that a lot of people dismiss. You know, but that's the reality of any sort of science. You know, in a lot of ways we're taught, for example, basic arithmetic. You know, we get to a certain level in our schooling where they teach us a certain level of mathematics, but there's much more significant, deeper mathematics that you'd need to go through a whole diploma or bachelor's degree or PhD to understand. That's true of any science. And science really is the study of everything, in a broad sense. Science seeks to understand the things that we don't have a distinct understanding of. Anyways. Accepted it when you learn that it was done by people that know more than I do, are paid to literally have doctorates, come to the conclusions on gender in the 1970s, and were seriously talking about it and had an idea in the 40s because of Christina Jorgensen. Learned a lot of queer history in the past few units of time. Well, that's good. Wouldn't download a gender, would you? Yes, I would. Don't tell me what to do. I would. People dismiss English degrees too and treat you like you're worthless if you don't know math. Big part of why you gave up on high school. Yeah, exactly. Well, where were we? Had a city councilman like that once said, no amount of surgery would make you a woman. Yeah, exactly. People just have these entrenched ideas that they refuse to shift. They refuse to change their opinion on the world. You know? Because they get taught like we've mentioned before, they get taught from a young age, this is the way the world works. This is the way things are going to be when you're an adult. And then some people just believe that and never bother to try and understand things that they believe are foundational to society, or things that they believe are foundational to identity. They don't believe that it's even possible to change those things. Again, like gender. Even more importantly, there were a lot of progressive as hell medical texts on transgender. Wouldn't say transgenderism. That's a word that's generally not accepted by the trans community. Don't ask me why, but I've noticed a lot of people do not like that particular term. Setback research on trans folk. Yeah, there was like texts dating back to like the 1880s amidst those book burnings. One of the most famous book burnings photos from World War II was a pile of books from a transgender clinic. So this is, again, not new stuff at all. A lot of university/college degrees don't lead to specific jobs unless it's medicine or law or hairdressing or plumbing or something like that. I can imagine. It's strange to me that people go to uni, and this is going to reveal my hypocrisy, but I mean, I suppose I understand. But there's still just this strange part of me that's like, wait, people go to uni for hairdressing? And I suppose, yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. It's possible that there were research done and recorded in the Library of Alexandria. Yeah, possibly. I mean, and we have texts going back. Well, not texts going back. We have texts writing about ancient figures, ancient historical figures, who, if we deduce their behaviors that were written about, we can say, oh, that person was trans. And I think there was a pharaoh. Was there a pharaoh? Called something. And yeah, there was a Roman emperor, that's it. I can't remember what their name is. But a lot of what was written about them today would be considered a transgender person. Again, the language shifts and changes, not Julius. They had a very specific name, not a very generic one. Elgabalus. Or Elgabalus? I forget. One of those. I've definitely looked it up. Is it Elgabalus or is it Elgabalus? No, it's Elgabalus. There we go. Or Heliogabalus. Yeah. The Wikipedia article, if this is the right person, refers to them as he, but everything we've read about Elgabalus generally refers to them in behaviors and attitudes that tend to lean feminine, tend to lean broadly in the sense of like transgender behavior. What's my opinion on Blair White? We've already covered that. I'm not going to do it again. Married a man, took the role of the bride. Wonder how much more information we as a society would have if no one had ruined books and resources. Heard of people doing this about many topics throughout history. Yeah. Book burning is inherently a fashy move, because one of the what's the phrase I'm looking for? Hello, Extreme John, by the way. Welcome to the Road Grim. How you doing? One of the, let me think. The first steps toward fascism is the encouragement of ignorance. And I suppose Tenet would work. One of the first steps to a fascist regime is to make sure that people are kept in line and people are kept ignorant and people are kept from knowing things that the government doesn't want you to know. So that's where book burning came in. And it's a little bit more difficult these days, but it still happens. There is still online censorship. But all that information out there is now on the internet in a broad sense. If somebody really wanted to, in a position of power, they could have that information destroyed. But, you know. Whoosh, there you go. And when you were first learning math, you were taught there were no numbers less than 0. At that age, you learned there were 2 genders. Feel like everyone learns both these things that aren't true, but the second one just, they can't get over the fact there's more to gender than that. Pretty much. It's a lot more complicated because... I'm not sure how to say... Hang on, we'll come back to that. They can't get over that there's more to gender than that because, for the vast majority of people, gender is... They don't want to admit this to themselves. And I've noticed a lot of men will say this sort of stuff, but a lot of women do it too. Trans and cis, honestly. There are a lot of people to whom their gender identity is so foundational to their identity. Their gender is so foundational to who they are that they don't think about it. And this is an important point that my psychologist, when I was seeing her... I wasn't seeing her, we weren't dating. When I was going to a psychologist for a bit, I should go back, honestly. Therapy is good. If you can afford it, do it. But when I was seeing my psychologist, she brought the question to me of, like, how often do other people think about their gender? And that's, or like, she mentioned to me that she never thinks about her gender. She never thinks about how she's a woman, right? And I think that's the issue, is that a lot of people broadly don't think about the fact that they're a man or a woman. Again, broad social binary. And as a result, when you present them with the idea that somebody can go from being a man to being a woman, or can go from being a woman to being a man, or can be somewhere in the middle or lie somewhere outside of gender, they start to think it's absurd. They start to think the very concept makes no sense. And thus, that's the commentary that they add to it. Because it's so intrinsic, because their gender performativity is so intrinsic to who they are, they think anybody who decides to perform outside of that gender or outside of that, you know, what they generally consider normal behavior, is weird, is unusual. They're freakish. They're doing something. They're doing it just to get attention. All this kind of thing, you know. Think about your cisgender sometimes, but you hang out with a lot of trans people. Yeah, I think like once you hang out with trans people, and honestly, that might have been one of the other factors, or like I said before, like I had a lot of time to think about it in my head during lockdown, and then I started watching like ContraPoints and Steph Sanyati and other trans folks. Where was I going with this? Like once I started to look more deeply at trans people, trans online celebs, generally speaking, once you start to get more of an exposure to it, you start to think about your own gender a little bit. You start to be a little bit more aware of it, you know? Because cis is a neutral term, normal isn't. Yeah, exactly. Trans and cis people are both normal. Yes, exactly. Okay, so the reason that we say the word cis is you've got trans means opposite to, or distant, or different to. So, whereas cis just means same as, essentially. So if you were assigned male at birth and you identify male in adulthood, you're cisgender. That's it. There's no deeper to it. No more depth to it than that. You know what I mean? Their chemistry terms, they also stem from like, do you like my clicky keyboard? They come from Latin. Hello, Madam Scoville. Cis has traditionally been used as a prefix, the same as trans, and comes from the Latin meaning on the same side as, whereas trans means on the opposite side as, broadly speaking. That's what that means. However, in the current modern sense, trans is more of an umbrella term, so people who are non-binary also fall under the trans umbrella in a broad sense. And there are people who have different identities. So in the same sense, like, this is another thing. This is another great example of this whole thing. We generally consider that opposite to means the exact inverse of. So on, off, black, white, you know, that kind of thing. But I think, again, the concept of opposites should be more like, this is the thing, and the opposite to this thing can be something that's completely different. Here's a cucumber, this is a wrench. I mean, that's a bit ridiculous of a comparison, but we generally have this concept that the opposite to something has to be the complete polar inverse of it. Whereas it could just literally mean, opposite to could just mean not this. You know what I mean? Cis and not cis, basically the exact opposite of cis. Not the exact opposite of cis. Yes, exactly. Probably say cis hetero people normally don't think about their gender. Cis bi, and have definitely thought about your gender, and know other cis bis as well. Well, I mean, that's the thing, Marlon, is I think honestly, just being a queer person as well, and it also depends on your environment, your upbringing, what kind of people you were raised around. You could be a cis hetero person who thinks about their gender because you might have been exposed to the ideas around gender, and thus you have more of a context for what gender is. You might have more of an idea of what gender is. And thus, you have room to pontificate upon it. I'm going to move you all because you're right in my way now. Chat, you're over here now. Enjoy. I'm actually going to make you bigger. How about that? How about I make you bigger? Do you want to be bigger? Yeah, there you go. Give you a little bit more height. Can I make you even bigger still? I want you to like fill up that side of the screen. How do I make you larger? Inflate me bigger. Gross. Oh, that's too big. No, I've made you too big. No. Why is this not like this? This isn't like pixel size. Oh, for fuck's sake, cunt. There we go. Whatever. You're over there now. Behave yourselves over on that side of the screen. This is my side. You can be there. So you got chat here, and then you got chat over there as well in the chat box, presumably, unless you're like watching on mobile, in which case you're down there. You fucking losers. Beneath me. Pathetic. Anyway. Local transpose and where you live. Right, okay. Please make us bigger, mommy. I'm not going to read the rest of that because it just seems kind of weird to bring up, honestly. Came out at work today, no more boy moding. Oh, fuck yes. Poggers! Can we get some poggers in chat? Yes, we can. I'll tell you what we can do. Unless we have a mod that can do it. No. There you go. Get a chant going in the chat. Can we get some poggers? Lydia's in the chat. Yes, we can. You used to hate it, but you're learning to love your transform, soft butch, Amazon vibes. Fuck yes. I'm kind of trying to come to terms with the fact that, you know, I like to lift. I like to be swole. I like to look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh my god, my muscles look fucking good today. Look at my shoulders. Us. Like, I like the idea of being a buff chick, you know. There's another one. There we go. Look at the forearms. Look at that. That's from Curls. Curls for the girls who like buff girls. I mean, into girls. Anyway. I can be the, what's it called? I can, like in the lesbian relationship, I'll be the one that wears the pants, even though I like to wear dresses. You know. Yeah, that COD hit marker noise of forearms. What? Anyway, she big. She big. She do be big though. I try to be big. I try my best. Do we have any other questions about gender? There are some people, honestly. One that wears the ring of keys and the leather jacket. You mean like this leather jacket? We in the leather jacket zone tonight. We in the greaser zone tonight. Also, I did my hair with a new shampoo tonight, and honestly, not tonight, today. And it looks alright. I mean, I can't really tell a major difference, but it's got a bit of shine to it. I didn't really buy it for the shine factor, but honestly, I'm liking it. It's not bad. It's not bad. Good size. Whatever the fuck that meme is from, I don't know. Also, I have a mirror here. And I realized that I was doing my makeup just here today. Just here on my desk. And reasonably, I mean, if I moved one of my cameras, like maybe this one, if I put this camera down here, we'll turn that off. Oh, hang on. Wow, that actually does light up my face. It's just when you're looking in the mirror, you can't fucking tell. Anyway. If I were to put this camera like down here or something, like in front of this monitor here, and I could probably, if I put this mirror and this camera down here, we could maybe do a GRWM stream. Get ready with me? Because I haven't done that, and folks have been asking for me to show my makeup routine, and I'm like, well, I could. And I took a few photos before, a few selfies, of like just doing my base foundation thing. Because I was telling a friend before that, you know, I do, I didn't mention the primer, but I do like I do my primer first all over my face. Then I do multiple different colors of concealer. I've got like purple concealer under my eyes for getting rid of the dark spots. I've got green concealer on red spots on my face and orange concealer on darker spots on my face. So like around here and stuff like that, this area here. And I've got like some redness around the sides of my nose and around my lip. I've got like bad facial skin at the moment. It's gross. So I got to cover that up. But yeah, now I'm like, I've taken these selfies of like those few stages. Like bareface or just primer, then concealer, then foundation, just so I can show my friend. But honestly, the lighting was so terrible that I don't think I'd be able to even tell. But there's a thing that I wouldn't mind doing at some point, doing our makeup. Speaking of trans in Japan, you met this trans woman streamer who is Japanese thanks to the trans tag. It's cool. English is a mishmash of German words, French fancy words, and Latin for our science terms. We don't say something is horsey. Instead, it's equine. English is the Frankenstein's monster of linguistics. It is. It genuinely is. It's a horrendous language. It really, there's so many parts of the English language that make no fucking sense. It's ridiculous. It is so bad. And I highly recommend we switch to another language because this one sucks. This one fucking sucks, dude. It's awful. English is not hot. It's not. It's not very poggers. Alright, let's do some yo-yo. Let's do some yo-yo, mate. Oh, where is it? Because I'm not at my... I've got my desk resorted. I've got my desk changed around a bit. I've got drawers now. Look at this shit. Can you believe it? Can you even imagine it? Yes, you can. I bet you can. Alright, let's do a yo-yo. Should we do a yo-yoing? Like that English isn't a set language? I mean, yeah, the changeability. That's not a word. Speaking of English being a shit language. Anyways, yo-yo time. Look at that. Yes, mate. You wish you were as good as me at the yo-yoing. Oh, there you go. Is yo-yo a French word? What's the linguistic origin of yo-yo? Whoop. Whoop. No, you don't. There we go. Kill, mate. Kill. There we go. Cute dress. Thank you. I love this thing, honestly. I quite like this specific style of dress, like the kind of three-quarter sleeve. You know, sort of short. I could wear this in summer. I could wear it in winter with the jeggings. Because we like jeggings. I just want more stuff like this. I just love this look. Just give me more. Tagalog, really? There we go. Somebody find and send me more of these. They're kind of like a tennis dress with more of a, more length to them. I honestly want to wear tennis dresses to the gym. Can you tell why? Might have something to do with my Magnum hog, but anyway. Anywho's. Oh no, she's hot. Feel free to simp. Anyways, let me get this off. If I can. Sign language would be quiet, plus there's an international version, true. Who went after Billie Eilish and for what now? I haven't been paying attention to Billie Eilish because I don't listen to her music. If you start simping, you find it very hard to stop. There we go. Herky dokey. Actually, I just want to check something because I adjusted the chat box. Yeah, I have to move it up over on this screen now. There we go. Where's the chat box? Move that over. And then we come back over to this one and the chat box. There we go. Puff. Sake no Mocha, so far do you know, is the only trans streamer from Japan you could find. I'm sure there's more. People are angry at Billie because they claim she's either queer baiting or needs to come out of the closet. What the fuck? Dude, if nothing else, if I've learned nothing else from being queer this past year and a half, not year and a half, from being queer 9 months-ish, whatever. From being out and proud, lesbian, transgender woman, it's that let people come to terms with that shit in their own time. Let them figure themselves out, for fuck's sake. It took me 31 years. If Billie has some kind of whatever identity, she can decide that for herself. And you know, what the fuck? Nobody decides when someone else should come out. Yeah, exactly. She's in the public spotlight. That shit ain't gonna be easy. Obnoxiously pretentious, like, leave her alone to do her own thing. Exactly. It reminds me, honestly, of the the thing recently of Demi Lovato coming out as non-binary, and a lot of people were saying that they were doing it for clout. Like, one of the most famous singers on the planet is apparently going and coming out as non-binary for clout. Trying to figure that one out in my head. You know, why would somebody who's got such a huge audience already, everyone knows who they are, why would it, why? Anyway. It's called punching down, and we do not punch down. Exactly. We don't punch down. Unless it's fruit punch. I'll take some fruit punch. No, you know what I'll take? I'll take some Galliano. I discovered this last night. I went drinking with some friends. That was nice. It was good. Oh, hang on. Specifically, is it this one? Galliano Black Sambuca. This one. Oh my goodness. Can I open this picture in a different page? No. Is this the one? I think this is the one. Yeah, this one here. Where the hell is Bulleen? Anyway, let me find the picture of it so I can show you. Somebody introduced me to this last night, and I'm just like, oh my god, I need to get it. It's a licorice flavored liqueur. It's so good. I could down that whole bottle easily. Huh. Oh my god. I would simp for that. It's so good. I had at least 3 or 4 shots of it, and I'm like, please let me take it home. Everyone you know hates Aniseed, though. Ah, fuck them. Fuck those assholes. Galliano coffee and cream in a shot. Ooh, that sounds good. I want to try to find, like, something that I can put a shot of this black... I want to get a bottle of it, and then find some kind of drink I can mix where I can put that shot in and have it, you know... I want, like, a full standard drink. I want a shot of that and then, like, a full tumbler or whatever of some beverage that would complement it. Black Sambuca is not fun when kneeling at the porcelain throne. Well, Black Sambuca and Coke? I'll try it. Because I really like the taste. It's so good. Fuck those assholes. I do intend. With consent. For the record. It's like I wish that you had discovered yourself a lot sooner so I could have been happier. Dude, yeah, I was discussing this early. I was discussing this early. Just early. Earlier. The Exodus. Welcome to the Rogue Room. I was discussing this earlier with a friend of mine. The concept of gender euphoria. Let's come back to the gender thing, because why not? Seen a lot of your posts on Facebook. Think you're awesome doing what you're doing. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you kindly. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, I was discussing the concept of gender euphoria earlier. And I want to show this photo that honestly really illustrates it, but I mean, you've seen Jacinta on stream, so you know what she looks like. But maybe I won't show the photo, but just to try to illustrate it, right? To try to put it into words. I never used to take smiling photos before, really. Like, all of my previous selfies, before I came out, were either A, gym selfies where I was just putting on an angry scowl and trying to look really tough and macho, and it was either that, or I was pulling silly selfies where I was like contorting my face into a, you know, wonky looking, awkward, you know, this is funny, look, my face looks weird. But I was never just smiling. And occasionally I do like a smolder. Whatever, I don't know. You know, but I never smiled. I never had like a big, toothy grin. And last night, what the fuck are you doing? Shut up. Apparently I've just passed 10,000 steps by sitting here. Righto, Fitbit. Anyway. Yeah, last night when we were out drinking, we went out to a bar. And Jacinta accompanies me to the bathroom. And as we're finishing up, we're sort of fixing ourselves up in the mirror. And we start taking a few mirror selfies. And I'm smiling. My teeth are out. I'm like actually grinning in the mirror while we're taking these photos. I'm, for the first time ever, happy to smile in a photo. You know? I'm happy to look at myself with a smile on my face because I finally see who I am as opposed to whoever the fuck I was pretending to be. You know? Believe that everyone should be happy in their own skin. Ideally, yes. Ideally, yes. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are certainly not. But I posted a tweet about, and this is worth noting, I posted a tweet earlier about, let me find it. Something like gender euphoria. Where is it? Gender euphoria is real and glorious, right? And a cis friend of mine posted, is it weird to get gender euphoria about your assigned gender? And in my personal opinion, no, it's not weird at all. Like, it's perfectly fine to be completely comfortable in the gender that you're in and be happy with it. Quite frankly, that's the ideal situation, right? Because I've seen people who are good examples of, you know, being comfortable in who they are. They're comfortably masculine or comfortably feminine. It doesn't seem like they're kind of trying to force themselves into fitting into a certain role or what have you. They're very comfortable with who they are, and that's its own form of gender euphoria. Like looking at yourself in the mirror, or looking down at your body, or thinking to yourself, I'm happy and comfortable, and that's like one of the best feelings, you know. You'll never be happy in your own skin. You can only distract yourself from those thoughts and try not to think about it. I'm so sorry to hear that echo. Excuse me. Still don't like to smile in pics because of your thin upper lip, but you can see that playful spark in your eyes when you post HRT pics. Well, that's good. Yeah, the trans smile or the trans glow, some people have said, where like you can see in their eyes in the photos afterwards, after they've sort of come out and started to transition and all that. You know, you can see this sort of shimmer in their eyes. It's strange. Yeah, vaccines have no effect on one's gender or sexuality. Like, it has no effect. It is not related to anything. And yeah, transgendered isn't a word. It's also a pretty obvious transphobe dog whistle. You're on thin ice already. Yeah, they're for a coronavirus, exactly. Really hard for me to like myself. Big part of why I don't really take care of myself. I can understand that. I can understand being in that space of, like, you don't want to do anything to really take care of yourself. You don't want to do anything that, like, honestly, it's depression, really, at the end of it. It's depression. When you are so, and I mean, that's my experience, personally, was that I was dealing with a very heavy depression where I just stopped caring about myself and I started justifying bad behaviors, like overeating and things like that, because I was just... what's it called? I was just so deep in this sense of not knowing where I was supposed to fit with anything, and obviously didn't have any comfort in my gender at the time. But yeah, HR Vatsky radio television. What? HRT is hormone replacement therapy. So basically, I've got no testosterone and I've got a lot of estrogen. Riles, you see your doctor today about starting HRT. Fucking congrats. Poggers. That's awesome, that is. Get some claps. And honestly, like, the discussion around gender identity, the discussion around being trans, the discussion around being cis, they don't teach you what cisgender is in school. Like, just on a broad thing, we had a discussion recently about how, and I actually need to make this into a video, I haven't done it yet. I've got the clips of where we were talking about Mark Latham's, and basically an anti-trans bill, like not educating kids in schools about gender identity, and broadly reaching over into sexuality as well, like not teaching sexual diversity, gender diversity. Like, Mark Latham proposed this bill to government that would prevent people from learning about these things in a school context. And I think, like we mentioned before, those formative years, the teenage years of when you are beginning to understand yourself at that deep identity level, You know, the teenage years are where you start to form who you are. As a kid, you're just a kid, you know? And some kids do have a bit more depth to understanding their own identity. But broadly speaking, kids just want to play. Kids just want to be kids. But as a teenager, you're in that transitional period of like, okay, I'm no longer really a kid, but I'm not an adult yet, and I'm trying to figure out who I am and where I fit in the grand scheme of things. And as a result, I think teaching kids, especially when they're starting to develop their own sense of gender identity and perhaps sexuality and all of those kinds of things, it should be taught in classrooms so that kids can have that broader understanding as they grow older. And when you make legislation against that, you're essentially saying, oh, well, you know, the boy-girl dynamic that we establish upon you the moment you're born is the way that you should understand gender until you are an adult, and then you can make your own decisions. But the problem is, if you don't teach these kids these things in schools, and I'm not a good teacher, for the record. I'm a shit teacher. You know, I've been rambling and ranting. If I had any sort of logic whatsoever in discussing gender, I would have wrote out notes for this particular stream. However, I was busy today, so I didn't get the chance. Otherwise, I would have been able to nut out this entire segment in like 30 minutes instead of the past hour and a half. But I suppose that's also kind of the point. We're discussing this thing in detail. But yeah, like a good teacher would be able to have a lesson plan that would just go, okay, here's what sex biology is, here's what gender is, here are some of the deep intricacies of those kinds of things, here's the distinctions between the two. We know that sex and gender are both bimodal spectrums. You know, broader stuff. Being a good teacher. Oh yeah, it's not just about organization. There's a lot more to it, of course. How are you, Zeron? How's it going? If your school environment wasn't deeply heteronormative and religious, you probably would have transitioned much earlier. Oh yeah, exactly. Excuse me. Sea lioning. I know that term. Hang on. I typed seal and it brought up Seal the Musician. Is a type of trolling or harassment that consists of pursuing people with persistent requests for evidence or repeated questions while maintaining a pretense of civility and sincerity. It may take the form of incessant bad faith invitations to engage in debate. Oh yeah. There we go. The terrarium has my spider in it, but she's probably hiding and doing nothing at the moment. It's cold weather, so she's not out. She's just literally living next to her little heat pad at the moment. Went to a pretty strict Catholic school and by drop day I mean kicked out, but amicably. So obviously the stuff didn't exist in that environment. Yeah, like in very strict religious schools, they probably wouldn't touch on any of that kind of stuff. If it isn't in fad with evangelicals, it's not allowed in red states. I'm not surprised. Where were we? Spiders freak you out? Well, lucky she's not crawling around. Well, I mean, even if she was, you wouldn't be able to tell. Like, there was one time she was sitting up in this top corner here, and you could see her on stream, sitting in the corner of the enclosure. Rest of the time, she hides in a hole and doesn't do anything. Do we have a mod in chat that can run that poll for me? There we go. And yes, Vess is a pretty spider. I need to get some photos up so I can, like, somehow on the stream get some photos up of her so I can just bring it up. It's like, look, spider! I still haven't got the Hype Train level 4, which unlocks a tarantula emote. And I'm like, I need that fucking tarantula. And I haven't got it yet. I want the tarantula emote, but I need to get a level 4 Hype Train in this channel. Well, I don't think I need to get it in this channel, but I want to. I want to get a level 4 Hype Train. It's slash poll. Because the poll is a default feature. Here, I'll do it. I feel like I know what the answer is. I'll do it. Would you prefer... There we go. I do have to buy fresh bugs. I have to buy crickets. She eats crickets. There we go. Which would you prefer? A cat or a spider? I've got both, is the thing. I've got a spider and I got a cat. Just get the spider trained to attack turfs and transmedicalists. Rusty buckets. Oh, you're all good. But yeah, I have to buy crickets for her. I have to go and get her some more soon. She's probably hungry. But she also hasn't been out, which makes me think she's probably hibernating. She's probably not really doing a whole lot at the moment. In regards to the school theory, how could you differentiate gender diversity and gender dysphoria in a school environment? Well, gender dysphoria specifically is the sensation of... Let's bring this up for a second. Hang on. I know what it is. I experience it myself. A concept... So gender dysphoria is having distress about aspects of yourself that relate to your gender. So, for example, in regards to people who were born... Let's just say trans women or people who are transgender who were born male will often experience dysphoria if they have to go through a male puberty, which will result and that by that I mean they don't take puberty blockers and they have testosterone running through their body, making little changes to them, and a lot of those changes in the face will change, like your jaw will become more prominent, brow ridge will become more prominent. What else is there? Obviously, testosterone will make you like broader shouldered and a little bit stockier. In addition to all the other stuff that testosterone does to you. And you could experience dysphoria around those physical features or other features. So essentially it's... it includes that desire to change primary or secondary sex characteristics. The dysphoria thing, the way to treat dysphoria is like I'm on HRT and it's made little changes to my body that make me feel a lot more comfortable with the way I look in the mirror. I spend entirely too long after my showers playing with my tits. Gender euphoria, folks. Mimi, welcome to the Rogue Room. How you doing? Have a very specific set of pet equipment. I don't think spider prams exist. Damn it. So, gender dysphoria is specifically the distress around characteristics that your body might present that are typically associated with the gender you don't feel you belong to. So, yeah, again, the jawline thing. I don't think my jawline's that bad, actually. My jawline is pretty good. My cheekbones are pretty high. The only thing I have any sort of real facial dysphoria with is my eyebrows. And I'm not even that fussed by it, honestly. Like, maybe my nose, too. But that's just kind of just picking. That's nitpicking. Honestly, I've been told by many, many people, those close to me, and those who are, those who are not close to me as well, that I've already got pretty feminine features, broadly speaking. But it also comes down to, like, what do we define as feminine features? And gender diversity is specifically, like the differences in our genders. Somebody can be, feminine or masculine. Those would be gender. That'd be gender diversity. There's like, is someone typically masculine or typically feminine? Is someone somewhere in between? And we could discuss, that diversity of gender pretty effortlessly. Like, we could try to broadly and honestly stereotypically define gender. Yeah, like sexual dimorphism is a good way to say, like, this is how gender diversity can. And we could also look at, give me a second, stuff like people whose gender does not fit in that binary, people who are non-binary, people who are somewhere in the midst of gender identity. I do have a pretty face. Thank you, Doodle Muffin. Welcome in. This is a safe place. Yes, it is. Does dysphoria manifest physically, or is it? It's internal. Like, you can have physically. I mean, people who lose their limbs in war and trigger. I mean, that can be sort of semi-related. I think I understand what you mean. Like, people who lose a limb, there is that thing called like phantom pain, where someone might have lost an arm, but they still get pain associated with that arm being there, even though it's not. But generally speaking, like, yeah, who was it that mentioned dysphoria? Yeah, Kira mentioned that dysphoria can happen with cis people too. And I think that comes back to, honestly, the idea of, like we were mentioning before, toxic masculinity. I think there's certainly a lot of men who feel as though they are not manly enough because they don't have certain masculine traits. And it's the same with women. And you can experience gender dysphoria even as a cis person, where you're looking at other people who are just generally broadly more masculine or feminine than you might be as a man or woman respectively, And thus you would suffer internal distress of like, that dude's got bigger shoulders and muscles in general than me. That dude's got a nicer trimmed beard than me. That woman's got bigger breasts than me. She's got nicer, nice blonde long hair. And you'd look at yourself in the mirror and you'd be like, I don't have those things. I don't have those traits. What's wrong with me? And that would be gender dysphoria in a broad sense for a cis person. Again, broad sense. We're using stereotypes here to just... My foot's stuck. We're using... we're breaking things down in a... We can't go too fine with the details here or we'll be here all night. Someone with a missing leg that has an orgasm feels it in their missing leg. So it's bigger than usual. What? Really? Plan a transition is try to get on the meds first and keep things secret for now. And when the pandemic is finally over, then you'll come out. Well, I hope that works out for you. I hope so. Excuse me. That's the thing. I think the answer to that is to tone down the right-wing rhetoric and to kind of control the narrative a bit and therefore the thought process. About which part specifically? Where were we? Been on HRT 4 months, lmao. Oh, you're talking eyebrows? Don't have to do them unless you want them to let you know and your experience doesn't make them thicker. Are you talking about eyebrows? My eyebrows are really thick. I should trim them. Mine are terrible, like... Oh no, my zooms aren't going to work as well anymore because I'm over here now. But you can see how thick and long and big my eyebrows are. My eyebrows are just burgeoning. Why are we still here? Just to suffer every night I feel my leg and my arm not whole anymore, boss. Do you feel it? I know you feel it. From that time, Miller came out as trans to snake. That's interesting. It's due to two areas in the brain being next to each other. Oh, okay. That's strange. If gender dysphoria is an unhealthy obsession, then the answer is to mediate it and control the amount of time the subject is actively obsessing. Well, we can't really necessarily control those kinds of things. That's a bit. Okay. I don't know these things. I only know references to Dark Souls. I don't know references to other video games. Other video games suck. They're not Dark Souls. Why would I care? I think, gender dysphoria is not necessarily an obsession as it is a form of distress. There is a difference, And in the case of transgender dysphoria, trans-related gender dysphoria, the treatment is transition. So, but with regards to cis people experiencing it, which I guess... We have to determine what exactly a cis person experiencing gender dysphoria is. Like, I gave a broad example, but it's not necessarily going to fix the problem, and there's more to it than that. But with regards to transgender dysphoria, the treatment is transition. And some people, this is the thing about gender dysphoria, is not every trans person has it. Not every trans person feels gender dysphoria, but they do feel trans. I forget who it was that was actually talking about this, but there was a streamer I was watching, and they mentioned they don't feel dysphoria, but they're still trans, they still transitioned. They literally did like the binary transition, like male to female. And they just outright said, I don't feel dysphoria. There's no part of me that makes me uncomfortable with my body, sort of thing. Assessing gender dysphoria as an unhealthy obsession is an awful assessment and can make matters worse. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's not the same thing. In the same... Gender dysphoria is a legitimate mental disorder in the same way as... What's a good example that doesn't make gender dysphoria make us sound like psychopaths? But it's like being... There's a lot of people who will say that trans people are... mentally ill, as an insult, right? So they're doing the double whammy of transphobia and ableism in the one go. Well, yeah, condition is probably a better way to do it. Condition is a better way to say it. And the reality is gender dysphoria is a mental condition that we have, but being trans is not, And again, not every trans person has dysphoria. Body dysmorphia is another one. I experienced that, definitely. I definitely nitpick. And that body dysmorphia is the obsessive one. Okay, so body dysmorphia is where you're looking at your body and there is something about your body that you don't like and you obsess over it. You look at it and you're like, I cannot stand that that's a thing my body has. I've got belly fat and I loathe it. I loathe and despise it. And there are many days where I have issues with my diet I have issues with, like, I'm overeating, I'm gonna gain weight, I'm gonna look disgusting and gross, like, and yeah, that leans into fat phobia in itself. But I've also got just a number of body image issues associated with how much body fat I have, because I've gotten to a point before in the past where I was far too heavy, and there's old selfies I can look back at and I'm like, I look disgusting, I don't want to look like that ever again. And that's my own body dysmorphia that I deal with. I don't want to ever get back to that point, and I struggle with it on a daily basis. There are people who have much worse body dysmorphia than me, honestly. There are people that, dysmorphia can lead to things like either obsessively overeating or undereating, anorexia, bulimia. Broadly, those things can branch off into other problems. But yeah, I think, and a lot of these problems are honestly more prevalent than we realize. A lot of people would be dealing with them, and they would have the issue of... This comes back to what we were saying before about how I came out during lockdown, or just after lockdown, because I'd spent a lot of time in lockdown inside my own head. There's a funny story about that. But I think the same thing applies to, people who have body dysmorphia, in the sense that they never have the time to address it. There are a lot of people who I think deal with either they hate this part of their body, or that part of their body, or that part of their body, and they want to fix it, and they have all the capacities to do so. The problem is they might be too busy. They've got too much going on. They got family events, they got work, they got study, they got all this. Their schedule's taken up, and they don't get a moment to address that thing. It's like I've met a lot of people who are just like, oh, I'm so overweight, I can't stop putting on... I'm trying to get rid of this belly fat and all that. And the reason... 99% of the time when people come to me about this is that they A, can't get to the gym, and B, can't get their diet in order because they're so busy, because they're always working. They're like working from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then after they're done, they're so exhausted from working that they don't want to bother going to the gym. They don't want a meal plan because you're stuffed. At the end of it, you don't have the time of day to be able to, to put aside and put the energy into those things. Society is designed to wear us down to the point where we just can't do anything. We work too much. We do. We put ourselves through hell in the hopes that we can glean some kind of success. We can gain some kind of acceptance because we are productive enough. And the government's telling you to lose weight. Exactly. That's another thing. Not the government necessarily, but society broadly. Corporations. How often do you see things like billboards advertising weight loss supplements, advertising get fit for summer? Actually, the gym I go to recently, they've got one of those things like the churches have where they put the lettering on them to advertise, what was it? What did they say recently? Like, summer bodies are built in winter. Because it's winter now, so they're trying to advertise, come and join up, summer bodies are built in winter. And that comes back to that toxic idea of, that comes back to that toxic idea of, to have a bikini body. Do you want to become bikini body ready? You know how you get a bikini body? You put a fucking bikini on it. Hello, Jeff. How's it going? What's going on? Where were we? I should stop drinking the water that I've got because I need to pee. But I kind of don't want to leave yet because we got 15 minutes to our break, and then when we come back, we're going to play a little bit of Beast of Maravilla Island, or Maravilla Island. So I'm kind of like, I need to drink, I want to hydrate, but I gotta pee. I don't want to pee. Fuck. A bikini body. I don't have one of those. I have a dick. Listen. Why did I take my break now? I could. Alright, I'll go pee. I'll be back in a second. Don't go away, folks. Wake up, Jeff! Wake Jeff up inside! What's going on, folks? Welcome back. They do have a Tourette's tag. Twitch has a Tourette's tag. Yes, indeed. They do. They added tags for a whole bunch of... Don't you dare. They added a bunch of tags for various different mental conditions. Including Tourette's, including autism, ADHD, ADD, ODD, just whistle and mimic things. You're basically a glorified parrot. I've honestly considered getting myself checked to see if I've got Tourette's. Some things that I've just generally chalked up to being autistic tics. Yeah, I think AC/DC is a mental condition too, that results in releasing 17 albums that sound exactly the same. Really though, AC/DC fucking slaps. Hello Hamish, how's it going? Anyway, welcome to the Rogue Room, Kano420. We've had a lot of followers tonight. Welcome in, folks. I hope you're all doing well. Alright, so, before we, we've done a lot of gender. We did a lot of gender. Hello, Bard of Execution. How you doing? But what we haven't done tonight... Not trailers, just one. What we haven't done tonight, sadly... Peggy 16, which honestly seems a bit weird. What we haven't done tonight, though... We've done the genders. What we haven't done, though... And I feel like this is hugely important for building this community. This is a big thing that I think we need to do as a community. So... subscribe so I can get to my daily sub goal of 5 so that I can continue to justify this as a source of income. Yes, peg me 16 times. What we haven't done, which we need to as a community that has its roots in From Software games, is 16. Watch the Elden Ring gameplay reveal trailer. So let's do that right now. Because yes, this is like my 4th time watching it, including watching Vati Vidya's breakdown of it. We need to do this. I'll probably get DMCA'd, but I don't care because it's Elden Ring. You literally just watched that during the break. Oh, fuck off. The subtitles are on the screen, Google. Fuck off. Look at this fucking world tree. That's called the Erd tree, apparently. Which just literally quite literally means earth or world. And that's a big centerpiece, for those who don't know, Elden Ring. You're probably going to see this tree a lot during the game because Elden Ring is going to be this big open world experience. Big open world Soulsy experience. I'm fucking keen! Lost. I cannot wait. January 2022. Let's fucking go. Is broken to its core. Hey look, it's Majula. Look at the way you get on the horse. How fucking based is that? Also, I've got a cat. Look at this shit. Look at this. This is awesome. Look at this. That's sick. That's fucking sick. I love it. Look at these big open spaces. I can't wait, dude. Whatever the fuck that thing is with the bell. Look at these dudes. Look at all of it. I am so fucking hypers.
In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
I want a PS5 just so I can stream this on PS5. Oh yeah, horse double jump. The horse jumps, the player jumps, we have stealth mechanics. They will fight. It brings back to the Dark Souls era of, you know, you can make a class and there's sorcerers and there's melee users, and it's not PS5 exclusive. I just want to play it itself. Oh, stop
I'm
that.
not simping at all, you bloody wanks. Sod off.
Thank you,
Kappa
Raw.
HD.
It's not a PS5 exclusive. It's on PS5, PS4, PC, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One. So it's on all the major modern systems. It's on current gen consoles and next gen consoles and on PC. I would like to play it. I guess I could get it on PC. Realistically speaking, my PC could run it. But look at this fucking armor. This trailer is nothing, and I mean, this is Hidetaka Miyazaki, so Berserk references out the wazoo, but especially this. Whatever this set is, I hope this is an armor set. Whatever this is, I want that. I would like to, not in the game, I want that outfit in real life. I would wear that everywhere. I wouldn't wash it. I'd sleep in it. I would sleep in this outfit and live in it for the rest of time. Just so we are clear. That on me forever. Like, as far as my understanding of Berserk goes, like the Berserker armor in Berserk, where he's just living in it, I think. I don't know. I haven't read it. I've only seen, like, the Golden Age arc up to the third one. Oh, dude. Strigger's day armor. Oh, she is goals. Anyways, back to this. I've already decided I'm doing a whip and short sword gender-swapped Trevor Belmont run. Just so we're clear. Anyway, continuing. There's dragons, because of course there are, but wait for it. What are you gonna do when the dragons start calling down lightning? This ain't Dark Souls, buckaroo. The dragons, they're no longer weak to lightning. Fuck your bullshit. The dragons just said, nah, fuck you, bitch. We figured out how to hold this shit. There's the double jump, if you missed it. Just here. Ready? This section here. So you got the lightning, and then this bit here, watch very closely. Horse jumps. Horse double jumps. It's a very, it's like a split second, but you can see the horse double jump, and there's like a little blue mist around its feet. Radio Astoad. Dragons because George R.R. Martin. These are cooler dragons than anything George R.R. Martin has put together, though.
For how else is a champion or a lord
Oh, this
to
bit.
be born?
Stab me, mummy.
Well, a lowly tarnished, playing as a lord. I command thee now.
I don't know what this dude's deal is. Dude with so many arms. They brought Smo back and they put a bowl on his head, apparently. Stealth mechanics. Magic. Dark magic. Stag, I guess.
Brandish the Elden Ring. For all of us.
Pain for the first time in 9 months. So yeah, it's available on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, Xbox One, and PC. Keen does not even begin to describe it. 21st of January 2022. Oh my god. It honestly, given the fact that it's dark, just play it again. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so fucking good, isn't it? I'm getting it. Elden Ring's a new universe, but inevitably, just wait for VatiVidi to put out a video that connects Dark Souls to Bloodborne to Sekiro to Elden Ring in some way. I mean, I'm still convinced that Sekiro takes place in the Eastern Land in Dark Souls, in a broad sense. You can connect all these universes. And you could say that Bloodborne is potentially the painted world that is painted by the young girl in the Ashes of Ariandel DLC. You could, like, she painted the world of Yharnam in out of the Dark Soul pigment. You know, you could attach these worlds together in some broad sense. You know, every game is a modded version of Pong. More like Skyrim. I'm still just absolutely distraught that as of E3 we have not heard any announcement of Skyrim Decade Edition. November 11, 2021 is coming up, folks. And we don't know if Todd the God Howard is going to be giving us the Elder Scrolls V again. Also, I made this joke on Twitter already. Hello, Chaotic Starwell. How are you going? I'm going well. I made this joke on Twitter. I forget where. I think I responded to somebody. And I mentioned that that what they should do is they should do like a version of Skyrim for the Decade, you know, which they're not going to do a Decade Edition, I don't think. We would have heard about it by now.
To our patronage is most appreciated.
Sad cheese.
Friend.
Thank you for gifting 5 subs to Adia Blue, Dragon Metal Queen, Riles Plus, OB Gian, and Myth Plus, you fucking legend, you. Enjoy your ad-free viewing. Enjoy your emotes, folks. Buckaroos. And welcome to the Rogue Room, Satchies. Thank you so kindly. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I made the joke that they should do a Skyrim Decade Edition. Then I think Scaredy Ginge followed up with a tweet to it. And then I responded, they should do a version of the game that incorporates all the most popular like graphical overhaul mods that make the game look really, really nice and spicy. Add a few quality of life mods to the game. And add a few story-based questline mods like the Forgotten City. And the mod developer for the Forgotten City liked my tweet, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. And included a few story-driven mods like the Forgotten City. And I want to bring this up because the creator of the Forgotten City, the mod, which if you've got Skyrim, please, I beg you, download that mod and play it. It's phenomenal. But let's clarify, they are doing an independent game version of it set in ancient Rome. If I'm not mistaken, it's basically the same experience. But yeah, it's set in ancient Rome instead of an ancient Forgotten City in Skyrim. You know? Forgotten City is a mystery adventure game of exploration and deduction and a reimagining of the critically acclaimed mod that won a National Writers Guild Award and racked up over 3 million downloads. Time travel murder mystery in an ancient Roman city. I am keen on this. Let me tell you, I'm keen on this. If I ever get the chance to play it, whenever it releases, it looks so good. If it is even, like, I can't tell if it's supposed to be a recreation in a different setting, or if they're going to be exploring different themes and stuff like that. But at any rate, go give them a follow, go keep an eye on that. Looks fucking good. Chaotic Star Whale, welcome to the Rogue Room. Can I say with those guys during stealth mechanics, one of the guys looks like he has a Burger King? I think Enderall's doing their own individual game as well, yes. More than likely, I would say so. This is the very poggers thing about modding, folks. Modding can lead to legitimate game development opportunities. Can lead to you having your own indie game dev studio or what have you. Anyway, let's do a thing really quickly. I think this is now available on Steam. Here we go. I'm just going to quickly check this. It is available now, isn't it? Yes. Oh, stop it. I've already played the trailer. We're going to be giving this a look. We're going to be giving this game a look now. Beasts of Maravi Island. And, oh my god, I think I'm still recovering from last night's drinking because I feel a bit queasy. Well, anyway. Where's the thing? Let's get rid of I'm sorry, my fellow autistics. Oh, no, actually, no, we'll keep the autism tag. Why not? And we'll add the first playthrough tag while we're doing that. So we're going to update. There we go. I'm just going to do a tweet. We're going to play this game now. We're going to turn the stream beats off for the moment. Yeah, we're going to check this game out because they sent me a key, the lovely fuckers. I got a key in the inbox of my email that I have that is for the professional businessing. As you might have guessed, I have a professional business email that is still under my old Twitch handle that is no longer my stream handle, which is kind of annoying, but, you know. I got this through Keymailer, so it was free, because I'm an influencer, folks. So this is that game that's, honestly, it looks a little bit Pokemon Snap-ish. We're going to roam around, we're going to take photos of things, and I'm going to turn the audio way down, because holy crap, I'm going deaf. We'll turn it down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. It's like free roam Pokemon. Yeah, it's the vibe I've gotten from it. So let's have a look. Let's have a gander at this. See if it's good. New game. Let's start a new game. Let's go. Never played it before. The world is full of magic. Patiently waiting for our senses to become sharper. What do I think of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert? I have not watched
My
it.
grandpa used to fill my head with crazy stories about a magical island. As I grew older, I knew better than to believe in old fairy tales.
I've turned the volume down and now you can't hear the dialogue.
So, why am I doing this? Going to a fictional place I only remember in my dreams.
Because you were privileged enough to have the money to do so.
Do not mourn me when I am gone. I have lived a life in service of the beautiful creatures of this earth. A lifelong passion I hope I passed on to you. People think Maravilla Island is a myth, and every day it is losing itself. Yet nobody can act. How can we say what we do not know? Notice the stories living around you. Everything is interesting. Look closer. So, I leave you my camera and my journal. Photograph Maravilla's majesty and bring back something beautiful to share with the world.
This does look very cute. Sky is sounding based. Everything is interesting. Everything's interesting. Getting Bug Snacks and Lily Child of Geos vibes from this. But yeah, what I've seen of it so far is largely very... kind of like, yeah, like an open world Pokemon Snap kind of thing. Anyway, yeah. Okay, I'm on my own from here until tomorrow morning anyway. Gosh, I hope this is the right island. Otherwise, this is going to be one short adventure. Here we go. So I'm assuming we control our camera like normal with the mouse. Let's hope it has bugs. It probably does. Oh, look, there's a cute elk, or whatever that is. Not, what is it? What was that? A stag is what I'm thinking of. Whatever it was, it looks like it's gone now. Am I going crazy? Well, no, this is a magical island. Can I jump in the water? No, I can't. I can move the camera faster. I can move the camera slow. Honestly, it doesn't seem like it's doing much. Okay, whatever. There we go. Hello, Ren. How you doing? It doesn't seem like there's a jump button. There's a sneak button. Is that Stag from Pokemon X? It may well be. So we got camera. We got F. We can look at our photo book. We got our journal. And we can whistle. Reminds me of Journey, where you could just ping. You just make little pingy noises. Oh, I can't go that way! Oh my goodness. How you going, Ren? What's going on? Cute knee-high socks. I need to get some cute knee-high socks. Oh no, the cursor isn't locked. It's going off the side of the screen. Photograph beetle. It looks like it has bugs. Look, here we go. We can take a photo. Heck yeah, we got a round ruby beetle. I didn't mean to take another one. Great job. That beetle was a creature of the island. Animals placed in your photo book. Animals are placed in your photo book based on which environment you found them in. Use A and D to flip the pages. You can find the different environments of the island and the photos you've taken by turning the pages. Press escape to put your photo book away. You can always open it again by pressing F to pay respects. Okay, so I can click on it. It took 2 photos. I only wanted to... whatever. They're the same photo. Delete that one. We only need the one. Be cool if the whistle button was just there for stimming. Bet there are critters all over the island. I wonder how many I can find to photograph. You want to eat it? We could probably eat it. Can we eat the bug? Can we eat it? No? Okay. Oh, the scenery goes semi-transparent when you're behind it, apparently. There we go. Cool mechanic. Well, sort of. Not really. Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Oh, wow.
These are unlike any critters I've seen back in Los Angeles. Oh, fucking hell. Dude, okay, hold on. It's literally... Dude, why is... Okay, we got a bug already. The chat, first of all. Chat, let me fix you up. Okay, options, controls. It doesn't, okay, we've already got a bug. The cursor doesn't lock to the screen, so if I pan off the screen, I could accidentally hit the stop streaming button. She's a call. Cali girl.
I read about this in Grandpa's journal.
Okay, now she's actually saying the dialogue? What? Make up your mind. Do you have voice dialogue or not? New objectives. The bugs of Maravilla Island consist of many durable species, gem-like structure on abdomen. I remember I used to love flipping through the journal as a kid. It's been a long time though, I barely remember what's in it. I should jot these animals down so I remember what to look for. Rather, the creatures build them up throughout their adult life, minus the giant snails. Okay, interesting. Stop stream, okay, boop. Yeah, I'm pretty close to doing that. Maravillan butterflies, okay. So it wants me to keep track of certain creatures. Grandpa always said that this island and its inhabitants were magical. I can see that now. They're just big butterflies. Chill out. The more photos of animals I collect, the more people will understand and care about this island like he did. Alright, let's take a photograph. Oh, whoops. Prism-winged butterfly. Can we get like a better shot? No, because you flapped your wings, you dumb bitch. There we go. Selfie mode. I can go through different expressions. Dude! Oh, I can take selfies. I mean, I did know that was coming. But, you know, we saw the trailer. Okie doke. I'm trying to make sure my cursor doesn't go off screen. Are we okay? Okay, the cursor's still here. Take a look at the round ruby beetle. I want to take a photo of the flora. Dripping orchid. Big butterflies. I want a big butterfly. What's this? Oh, hello. Vasconian tree orchid. What about you? Can I... Marvillian lobster claw. What's this one? Rainbow bromeliad. Sometimes Alt-Tab and reselecting the window. Okay. Nope, it still goes off screen. Alright, we'll have to like report that or something. I think I remember Grandpa mentioning that the plants on this island are photosensitive. Maybe the flash that my camera makes will be enough to make that glowing flower bloom. That's not a nice thing. Don't do that, you asshole. There we go. Okay. Sparkling lamp lily. Oops. E. All it needed was a little flash to shoot a beam of light, and the stalk it grew is something out of a fairy tale. If it's anything like the fairy tale, I might be able to climb it. Oh, okay. So that's how you climb things. Okay. I can't take photos while I'm climbing it. There we go. Select a different window. Okay, let's select that, and then we go back to select this. Nah. Yeah, I think it's just a bug where the cursor is not captured by the window. Okay, so we can climb the stalks of the trees. Ah! Selected... Oh, yeah, I already said that. On top of the branch, they seem so familiar. Their tail twinning is a giveaway. It's a Maravillan queso bird monkey. Should look at the journal. What's in the journal? Rainbow-crested Quetzal monkey. Grandpa wrote this information down to help you. If you're ever stuck, check the journal. This monkey of paradise chooses to nest in the understory layer of Maravilla's forest, hiding from predators. Decorative crest. These affectionate monkeys twine their tails together in times of stress or just to let one another know that they care. It's comforting to them as a hug. These monkeys sometimes twine tails all night and wake up with bedhead on their fur. Grandpa was quite the scientist, but these colorful friends are just cute bird monkeys. Bird monkey. Binky. That's not a good name for them. It says in the journal that these creatures twine their tails together. I should get a photo. Oh, shit. Okay, hold on a second, folks. Literally, dude. I might not be able to play it because I've just closed chat. I have just closed the chat window. Like, literally, because the cursor wasn't on the screen. Oh, God. That's going to need to get fixed. Okay. That's exhausting. You're back now. It's okay, though. It's alright. Okay, I don't know what this is. Don't freak out. I'm feeling a bit queasy. Maybe it's the hot chocolate. I'm going to take some water. Oh, because I drank a lot last night. Is it possible I could be, like, experiencing some late-stage hangover? I haven't drank tonight at all, aside from water and coffee. But fuck, okay. Dude. Oh my god. Is it you? I think it's my... Is it my cat sitting on my lap? Oh. Whoa. That's... Oh my god. I don't feel good. Oh my goodness. The game's fine. The game's not making me sick. Remember the last time I felt this queasy on stream? I was having a cocktail party with Calgar. Which we might do again, but I'm not going to drink as much. Oh my god. It's currently 10:17. You might also recall a previous example of, like last time I had something medical sort of come up. It was my mouth was bleeding and I had to go get a wisdom tooth out. Oh my gosh. Why is this suddenly hitting me? What the hell? Dude, I want to play a video game and my stomach is making me feel like crap. It's currently 10:17 p.m. where I am. Hello from the past. I might go refill my water bottle. I'll leave you with the tranquil sound of this game. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go to the bathroom again. If I'm not feeling too great, I might need to end stream early, which I didn't want to do. I've had so many off days lately. Anyway, be back in a minute. Okay, so... Oh, that didn't really solve much. I'm back. I'm so low now. The freaking camera is too... Whatever. Still... Oh, Jesus. Okay. Transliberation now. Can we get transliberation from sudden nausea, Botwick? Because... God... I might need to, like, call it as cool as it would be to continue playing this for a bit. I don't think I can, honestly. Aside from the cursor issues, aside from the fact that the cursor doesn't want to, like, stay on the game. It doesn't want to stay on the game window. How you doing, Andre? Yeah, I'm like, wow. Not feeling hot all of a sudden. Yes, I'd like to save my game. But I'd also like to quit the game because... my stomach is giving me hell. And I can't focus on anything but that, so I think we're going to call it there and raid somebody. Whoever happens to be live, we'll go find someone. As soon as this stops mucking around, playing its intro. I'm going to have to give them feedback on that, on the cursor not staying on the screen. Otherwise, seems pretty cute. Seems like a pretty cute game, so if you're interested in that, it's called Beasts of Maravilla Island. I'll drop the link in chat. Don't play the trailer. Or you can just look it up. It's currently $13.05 Australian. How do I find the link to it? Oh, I could go to my email. Hang on. But, dude. Fuck me, Dad. That came on really quick. I may need to go sit down. Oh. There's someone I want to raid. Here we go. We'll raid Noom. There's a good idea. And, there we go. We'll raid Noom. And you redeemed the Steam key. Yes, I did. And we'll go and grab you the link to this game if you want to give it a crack. If you want to try it for yourselves. So Noom's currently playing, Solasta Crown of the Magister. And did I just abandon my... Yes, I did. I abandoned my dashboard. Whatever. I don't need it. I am not in the mood to focus on being alive. I'm gonna go lay down, take my makeup off, and just... I don't know. Oh my god. It legit, like, honestly, it's the same kind of nausea I was experiencing. Like, I feel like I want to throw up or do something out the other end. But, like, it's just... It's the same kind of nausea I was feeling when I was having that cocktail night and just, like, nothing came up. That's the worst thing when we had that cocktail night. I wanted to throw up so bad, nothing came up. It was the worst. Alright, thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. I hope you enjoyed talking about gender and other stuff. And I will be kind to yourselves and each other. I'll see you tomorrow night when I'm hopefully not so queasy. And I'll see you when I'm looking at you. Lovelies. Ugh, I feel like crap. Good night, folks. Have a good one. Why is it always this song?